Hi, this is your wayward muse, Judy. And I was outside putting water in my bird baths like I usually do this time of day, every day, and I saw something very strange in the tree. Couldn't tell what it was until I zoomed in on it with my camera. Now watch real closely where that arrow was. To my amazement, it was an osprey. I've lived in Arizona for almost 30 years now, and this is only the third time I've seen an osprey in the wild here. The first time was over 5 years ago on the side of a dirt road on a farm. We played musical poles with it until we finally got some decent footage, which you can see in my video entitled Hawks and Falcons of the Arizona Sonoran Desert Part 2. The second time was about a year ago. Again, this osprey was perched on a pole by an agricultural reservoir. And you can see that one in my video, Osprey Layover in the Sonoran Desert. Both times, those sightings were on farmland, either by or near accessible water. But here, my third sighting is nowhere near a farm, and the closest water is an agricultural canal exactly 2 miles away. Now, my neighbor has a small pond, and I've got multiple bird baths, so maybe this bird was just biding her time until she could swoop down in one of them. I don't know, but I sat there until past dark, and she just continued to perch. And yes, you can tell it's a she by the band of brown streaks across the chest. And she was actually perched over a small tributary of a major wash that flows through our land, but it was dry on this day, as it is on most days, unless it floods. So I don't know what she kept looking down at on the ground. When fish is not available, they'll eat frogs and turtles, rodents, and occasionally birds. So what explains those 2 mourning doves sitting beside it so casually? Who knows? Anyway, here are some interesting facts that I didn't include in my last video. Did you know that ospreys are the only raptors whose front talons turn backwards with barbed pads on the bottoms, which allow them to hold on to slippery fish? It's also the only raptor that can completely submerge underwater when diving. Their nostrils close up, and they even have scales on the back of their legs. They are lone migrators, sometimes exceeding 200 miles per day, flying at heights approaching 5,000 feet. An osprey can live up to 30 years and may fly well over 100,000 miles in its lifetime. A few of them nest up in the White Mountains in northeastern Arizona, but down here in the desert, scientists say they are uncommon transients from early March to May and a brief time during the fall. They typically forage around dawn or dusk, like here, and hunt from a perch. When not foraging, they spend their daylight hours preening, resting, and bathing. I wondered if this one was waiting for me to leave so she could take a dip in one of my bird baths. I guess I'll never know, though, because I had to go inside before she left, and by morning she was gone. Ospreys, like most raptors, are protected under the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, but still face significant threats from habitat destruction, boating, and other water-related recreation that frequently disrupts their nesting and foraging. But the greatest threat of all, to all birds, is global climate change. Arizona is getting drier than it already is, resulting in more frequent and intense droughts and wildfires. In coastal areas, glacial melting is flooding wetland areas where ospreys nest and raise their young. The changing climate is also changing the timing of the seasons, and so changing migration patterns. Scientists say that some species might stop migrating altogether, which would lead to increased competition for food and habitat where they breed. In fact, ospreys are some of the best indicators of pesticide damage and other environmental contamination. Populations plummeted in the mid-1990s, but slowly recovered after the ban on DDT and other dangerous chemicals. They are still listed as endangered in some states, though, and here in Arizona they are listed as a wildlife species of special concern, which is, I believe, 1 level above endangered. So this sighting was a real treat for me. I hope it was for you too. Thanks for watching and happy trails.